Hi, good morning. So today I am at Adam Byer koi farm. He's got some really famous bloodlines going on here. He's got over a metre Chagoi that I know that he, Oakley, which is really well respected in this country, like over a metre long. So I'm excited to delve into that. He's focused on his Kahaku, I think, for a long time as well. And you know, the whole English breeder thing, really kind of growing in this country. Like a lot of them are using some really top quality Japanese bloodline koi as parent sets. So I'm really excited to get into this, see what Adam's got planned for us today, and to visit another amazing UK koi farm. So without further ado, let's go find Adam.
So you're seeing us we're right at the end of the season, not long until winter. And you know, we are a koi farm. The vast majority of what we sell, we've bred here at the farm. And so the stock we have in our sales room largely depends on what we've bred. And now also, we are now filling the gaps in our range with koi that are imported from Japan. So that's been new for this year. We will definitely be continuing with that. But in general terms, what that means is that the stock in the sales room is going to vary depending on whether you're hitting the crest of one of those harvest waves. So right now, the last harvest that we had was in September, which was our Nisai harvest. And you know, all of our small koi mixes, they've been with end of season clearance deals. So you're seeing end of season stock in here, which are very good value, by the way, online. And we've got some tanks where we're still sorting through the stock. Anyway, so that's what we're seeing here. In advance of the spring, let's say, for example, in a few months, it will be filled with new stock from our toe size, from 2024 spawnings and so forth. In actual fact, there's we've had a very busy year. I think one of the things to say is we've actually had our best ever year. This year, which has just been brilliant. It's one of the reasons why we were able to offer so many great deals at Black Friday. But you know, so we do have some great choices in the sales room at the moment. But you know, a lot of people have been picking fish. So you're probably watching that going, oh, it's very attractive seeing all those fish eating. I'm looking at it going, they're making eggs. They are making eggs. And that is what we're trying to do at this time of year. That's Opaline.
Opaline. So these are...
This is the Makashi Ogon, Murusei, but that's her name. That's the mum of all those vanilla Makashis. Look at the, she's 96 cm, we measured her this year. Look at, she spawned in September. We made sure that she spawned to clean her out of eggs for this year, because we haven't reared anything from her this year, but I wanted her cleaned out for next year. And this is Oakley.
This is Oakley, the famous Oakley.
I mean, she's getting on a bit now, but 105 centimetres at the last measure up, which was about 2 or 3 years ago.
We've got real jumbo heritage, haven't they? Oakley must be mum to how many fish?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
And Otsuka. Otsuka. And she knows the fish. He knows the fish. I went to see him last year in Japan, and he knows that specific fish.
Oh wow. The scalation's just crazy on that fish, isn't
it? And the luster.
You
see, can you use it? I haven't been able to capture it on video very well, but it has an almost myself. It has the luster is very good. She's very clean, particularly when you consider she's for her age. And but the fukurin. It's just amazing. I walk past some of the mega ponds that people see on the videos of Japan, and I've been to those ponds, and I'm not seeing any fish there that I would want instead. So, but do you know what? With her, it's taken a few goes to get a male parent I'm happy with. In terms of producing a reasonable number of the vanilla colour. The first time we spawned her, I think that we had like less than 1 in 100 that were the vanilla colour.
Wow.
That's before. That's just the colour. That's even before you've graded them for quality.
It's a really funny one because is it because they're so vanilla then, Makashi? Is it almost in your mind to think, do I need Yamabuki when you've got such a yellow Makashi?
That is a really good question. So, like, why have we got this Yamabuki female, etc.?
Because they are quite similar, aren't they?
Yeah. So, I think that when you see what we produced in the sales room, and you're looking at a tank, and you're thinking, I can see what you're thinking. You're thinking, there's a lot of nice-looking vanilla Makashis here.
They're all very good.
Thank you. Yeah. Why would you need anything else? However, 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't know I'd have that.
Yeah.
So I've got to hedge my bets.
Yeah.
But the other thing is I think that a Yamabuki, has a different presence to a Makashi.
Yeah.
It's a similar colour, but there is something different about it. It has a different origin. I think it has a provenance within koi that goes back further. It goes back further.
Yeah.
And I just think, if you were thinking of your ideal koi pond, you would think, I want to have some this range of Gosanki, and I want to have 1 or 2 other things. Yeah. A Yamabuki, a Shiro Utsuri.
Yeah.
You don't go, I want to have a range of Gosanki and a Makashi. Now, you might do now, but your first thought would be a Yamabuki, because Yamabukis have been around a lot longer.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult to find a better one.
Yeah, seriously impressive. So how did you come into owning some of these fish for parents then, like Oakley and Oakley?
Well, Oakley, it all stemmed from Oakley, basically. I was looking for a Chargoi parent, and I wanted a very large one. I was aiming at one. I wanted to buy one at a metre.
Yeah.
Now, you know how rare that is.
Yeah.
And the measurement was actually extremely important.
Yeah.
So, because we're breeding from it, I need to know not only has it got the potential to get to a metre, I need to see it like on the tape measure that is had the potential and has achieved it. And so if I'm going to breed from it, I know it's got a certain quality around that. Okay. At that time, we were struggling to find one, actually, and I in the end bought this through Quenikoi, and both Mike and Chris, who were both there at the time, helped me acquire her, and I'm just very grateful to both of them for giving me that chance. I think, thankfully for me, she had a broken tail, which made her just about attainable.
Yeah,
but, fish like that are
expensive.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, there is absolutely no guarantee that she would spawn. I've got 2 Karashigoi females in here. I bought 3, I've sold 1, and I only need 1. So at the very minimum, one of those 2 will go. One spawned for me this year, but we lost the eggs. There weren't very many eggs. It was her first spawning.
Yeah.
They're from Yagenji. He's got one of the up-and-coming Karashigoi lines, the Kanishi Sakai mix. So I think if one of them has to deliver a decent batch of eggs for me next year, otherwise they're both out.
This is like a Deutsch Goschke.
Deutsch Metallica Chiba from Kaze.
Oh, it's a really interesting colour, that, isn't it? I would have thought it was nearly virgin on like a Deutsch Garomo type. You know, the colour's so purpley coloured. But now you say a Chiba, it makes sense, but it's different pigment.
Here's another one.
Really vivid.
Yeah.
Really vivid in colour, aren't they?
Yeah. This Kikasui I think might go. Kikisui as a variety we're going to get behind because I'm so happy with our production this year, which I should show you. So we'll definitely be getting more behind Kikisui moving forwards. Benikikikiryu, that's definitely on the stay list. I love Benikikikiryu.
Yeah.
They're just such an interesting variety.
Really wild variety, like in patterns and things like that, aren't they?
Not easy from a breeding perspective at all.
No, I can imagine that.
But when you get a good one, it's definitely hard-earned. But in general, Joe, actually, just looking through these, there's a few that are going to be on the transfer list, so to speak. But this is the kind of the range of broodfish that I need to run the business.
Yeah.
To be fair, because the lots of unfortunately, not every spawning works.
No.
Listen, the two kahakus we've got didn't spawn for me last year. They'll be on. I've got some new ones in, but these fish won't all spawn successfully for me next year.
No. And is this the main Asagi parent, this one?
Yeah.
Female?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Because the offspring look so different to that. Obviously, she's an old girl, I'm guessing.
Yes, from Yugenji.
Yeah.
When I bought her, the only reason I bought her was because of her head.
Yeah. Well, you can actually see that head in the offspring. I remember there was one I photographed at Scotland.
Yes.
Got a very similar head shape and
her head is very broad.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. She's getting on a bit. But look how clean that head is.
Yeah.
For an older Asagi.
Usually they go grey, don't they?
Incredibly clean. That's basically why I bought her. The Kanoko is actually developed.
Yeah.
But when you look at her, you look at our Asagi line, which is cleaned up at the shows. Every show that one of our customers has taken any of our Asagis to this year, size 1, 2, 3, they've cleaned up.
Yeah.
And but when you look at the mum, you go, wow, the mum must be this amazing, all Japan looking Asagi,
Yeah, no, of course. I think that's what people might look in here and the understanding why parent koi is selected is you can't just, for example, the Dainichi Nisai that you've bought, the expensive, very nice expensive Dainichi Nisai, not necessarily going to transfer into good parents. You don't know that.
No, it's a risk. I hope they do.
I hope they do.
But
people don't understand that these in here are in here for a reason. If they're staying, that Asagi's produced some really nice offspring that really some don't look anything like her now, other than the features like the head and the Benny quality and things like that.
Yeah.
The same can be said of other things like I've seen it elsewhere where you get offspring that don't look anything like the parent sets. So
no. In general, when we've got, I'm looking to try and get as close to the mum as possible.
Yeah.
Like in that Asagi's case, look, she's got on a bit, and in actual fact, I bought her for a specific trait.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a bit different. But let's say on our Gosanki, or like on the Makashi or the Yamabuki, I'm really looking to get as close as I can to the mum.
Yeah.
Because those fish are so special that that's a significant target.
Yeah.
Where I've got an Asagi which doesn't have Matsuba, I obviously want to do better than the mum.
Yeah.
So they are the aspects.
So in terms of complexity, because I'm going to nerd out now because I'm a Asagi nerd.
Okay.
In terms of complexity, where do Asagi rank in terms of the varieties you breed? Are they a complex variety for you to do, or?
Look, it's a good question. When I think about complex, I don't have like a ranking in my head, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because they're all so difficult. There are no easy ones. There are no easy ones.
Yeah.
To get a good example, none of them are easy.
Yeah.
Even down to Chargoi.
Yeah.
To get one with a vignette and neat scalation without the odd imperfect scale, they're rare.
Yeah.
Let's just think about this. So, the ones that are the toughest for me to breed commercially.
Yeah.
Kahaku.
Yeah.
May just be two colours. But my God, those colours have to be in a really neat formation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the koi does not have the value.
Yeah.
Customers, like we're all so particular about how our kahakus have to look. That makes them extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Showa, there's just huge change in the sumi.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy to predict. You can, I can show you some examples which will demonstrate that. But basically, let's say a few inches long, maybe at second selection. I'm only looking for the Benny pattern at that stage. You have to rely on the genetics for everything else. But at that stage, my ideal Showa would be an open Benny pattern.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the fish to be a bluey grey.
Yeah.
Underlying.
Mm-hmm.
Consistently.
Yeah.
For me, a consistent bluey grey.
Yeah.
For me, that would be an absolute top quality, like second selection Showa.
Yeah.
That's tough. But there's an element of risk, even knowing the lines. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Benny Kikakuru, we were just talking about those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wild, I think it was your term.
Yeah.
Great word to describe that variety.
Yeah.
Very tough to breed. Very difficult to get parents that actually work as well in terms of producing Benny Kikakuru. From my experience, I've bred quite a few of them now. And they often produce a range of other things, but with Asagis, there's a lot going on with Asagis. They're definitely not an easy variety to breed.
No.
Because but at first selection, you know, they breed a lot truer. From my experience, they breed a lot truer than some of those other varieties I've spoken about. So if you were just looking at a first selection, they're not one of the more difficult first selections.
Yeah.
But that's not the right way to describe it. That's not the right way to describe it.
You kind of have a better understanding from the first selection, or no?
No. It's not. I've got it right. They breed a lot truer. So if you were an untrained eye, you were looking at an Asagi spawning, certainly from our female, you see, your first impression would be that I've got quite a lot of Asagis out of this spawning.
Yeah.
But when you look at them closely, it's only a small percentage that have the highest quality.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, on a variety like that, seeing the higher quality Asagis 2 to 3 centimetres, in a way is more difficult than seeing the higher quality Kahakus at 2 to 3 centimetres.
Yeah.
Because the differences are so subtle.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're on a couple of acres.
Yeah.
And we've got 6 natural ponds. And we've got permission already for 2 more polytunnels actually, which is going to double our fish house capacity.
Right, wow.
More, in actual fact, they'll be bigger than these 2 polytunnels. It would be the equivalent of our quarantine room, both polytunnels, the sales room, and another area.
Wow.
Again, so it'll be where we are, and then also running down there, the length of the ponds.
Yeah.
So that's all. We already have permission for that. It's just a question of clicking, you know.
Yeah.
So anybody can pick through these. They need a warm pond.
Yeah.
This is not heated actually, this pond, but it picks up a few degrees probably from some of the surrounding ponds. The pond to the left is not heated either, but in here
it's warmer. Yeah.
I'll chuck a bit of food in here, but you can see that there's lots of Kikasui options, Tancho Kikasuis, lots of tubers, everything we've seen, and these can be hand selected. And in the spring, these will all be in the sales room.
Yeah.
Along with all the other varieties that I'm going to bring in from Japan. I'll put a bit of food in. Hang on. There's just so much choice here. Aragokis,
You could take a scoop and get about 10 different varieties, couldn't you?
yeah. That's those. And then this is, right, in December we're going to harvest this tank. The vast majority of the fish in here are ours. There is a Sankey from Terrazzo. I think other than that, they're all ours. The showers are ours. That shower there, that's actually from our alternate shower line.
Right, okay.
Another Ueno female.
Right.
Yeah.
Benny Kikos are nice, aren't they?
Oh, thank you, yeah. The Deutsche Chivas are Sansai. The Makashis are Nisai, and then the larger ones are Sansai. And these Asagis are also going to Sansai. Now listen, there's a couple of Makashis in here that need to be taken out and put into a quiet tank to allow their scales to sort of recover.
Yeah.
So I know, and look,
it's in a feeding environment, isn't it? So.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to chuck a bit of food in here. I'm really looking forward to harvesting this tank.
Yeah. Really nice.
Thank you. This has got this year's Asagi, not Asagi.
Deutsche Chiba.
Yeah, Deutsche Chiba.
They look really cool though. It's almost like a blue colour in the water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. It's quite mesmerising actually.
Yeah, so that's what like good ones look like at this
Yeah.
stage. But listen, there's only 300 fish in here. There's maybe, and frustratingly for me, they do not breed true. Like 1 in 1,000 are good.
Yeah.
But you know, there's not much else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
Right, watch your footing, please.
Yeah.
I can bring these up to the feeder actually. Let's do this tank actually because you might get a bit more here. Watch the steps.
Yeah, no problem.
If you stand where you are and look to your left under the feeder, I'll go down here. There's a few goshkas here from a Cano female.
Oh, they look really light colour, don't they? Guessing that's perfect for their age they're at.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goshki. There you can see.
Yeah. Yeah, see that one, yeah.
Monru, they come from our... They've taken a bit of spotting as well.
Yeah, nice.
Right, watch your footing. There's some more Tosai growing on tanks.
Yep.
Right, these are our kind of this year, our early season spawnings were just brilliant. The best we've had. You've seen the result of those. Lots of Kikasuis, the Deutsche Metallic Achievers, the Goshki, also pretty good. That's going to be something we're going to be expanding on next year.
Goshki.
Yeah, the ratios I got out of one of the females. So we used the same male and I put it with 2 different females.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the kind of thing we do. And so I'm making progress with Goshki. I now need to get more eggs. So that's something I'm going to be dealing with it when I go to Japan in a couple of months.
Yeah.
But now I've got a good male, I can get behind it.
Yeah.
Look, in our mid-season and late-season spawnings did not go as well as the early season spawnings. I hit our total annual production, but in our mid-season spawnings, it was more like end of mid, beginning of late.
Yeah.
But we've got Kiyutsuri, we've got Kurashigoi, and we've got Shisui. The Shisui spawning is off a Marahiro female that Marahiro picked for me. I'm so excited about this Shisui spawning. As much as you can with Shisui, no, I mean that's harsh.
Yeah,
that's harsh.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Listen. We won one of our Shisuis. A customer bought like in one of our mid-range tanks, a £50 tank or £75 tank, something like that. I was I saw some press about one of the Midland shows, like some months after the show had happened, and this customer had won best Deutsch fish in the show with the Shisui. That
Oh wow!
had grown a little bit, but like it was still a small
Yeah,
Shisui.
yeah.
And but the mum I was using didn't produce good eggs. Most of the eggs weren't fertile. The males though are brilliant.
Yeah.
Anything they touch gets fertilized almost. Like they
Wow.
very yeah. So I got a new female in. Brought her in last year. She dropped all her eggs in quarantine. Yeah, so I spend all the money. She comes in, all the eggs gone. I've got to wait another year. Thankfully, she spawned for us this year. Modest amount of eggs, very high fertilization. They've bred truer than I would have expected.
Okay.
Which means I've had lots of fish to choose from.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like very excited about what we might be able to do with these spawnings. I've only got 2 tanks of Shisuis. We thought the vanilla Makachis were in good supply there. From what I'm seeing, I think we're going to have a decent number of Shisuis, which means the quality of them for our customers are going to be good next year.
Yeah.
So that's those. But look, let's first look in here. So
these look really good. I was just looking at these.
So these are Karashigois and a few of the largest Kiitsuris. What I tend to do, Joe, when I'm rearing fry or from egg, is, and this is a kind of a top tip for your viewers, is if you can have more than one tank, do, and then split them by size. Okay, I as soon as I can, after even sometimes weeks, certainly after first harvest, I'm regularly splitting them by size.
Yeah.
So from all of these spawnings I've just talked to you about, this tank here has got the largest of each of those spawnings in them.
Right, okay.
That means the fish are competing against other fish that are about
more dominant.
Yeah, and overall better growth.
Yeah.
And then medium and then small.
Yeah. Do you have any... In an ideal world, would you have had the Kiyotsuri separate to Karashi? Because
absolutely.
In my mind, the Karashi are going to dominate. That was what I was instantly thinking.
Most of the Kiyotsuri are in the tank behind you, and there's actually a couple of Shisuis in here as well.
Right. Okay.
So these fish are in here mainly on size.
Yeah.
Across the spawnings that I've got in this zone, so we zone up. Okay, all my growing on facilities are zoned up. There's this board behind us also separates us from those other tanks. These 3 tanks are on one filtration system. That's one drum, one over there.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
One homemade filter.
Yeah.
That's just I have maybe 600-700 litres of K1, K plus just bubbling away in there. All a bottom drain in each of these tanks. All goes through to the one drum, pumped into the bubbling chamber, and then falls back through gravity to these 3 tanks.
Yeah.
I control the flow back to the tanks with valves. There's also a UV in one of those channels and an air source heat pump as well.
Yeah.
28 kilowatt air source heat pump to keep these at whatever temperature I want throughout the year. So once I've got my 3 spawnings in here, initially they'd be kept separate, but then, and we're now on to second or third selection, I'm then amalgamating and splitting by doing my selections and then splitting by size.
Yeah.
And you'll find that means that you get a better result out of each of your size categories. When we were looking at the Kikasui Deutsch Metallica Chiba spawning, the tank that you videoed was initially was the tank of small ones.
Right.
But they are now a very similar size
to
the medium size and the large ones. The second tank that you videoed was the medium sized ones.
Yeah.
I actually think the medium sized ones are now
slowed down a little.
Well, are now at least as big as the large ones.
Oh, right.
And what was much smaller are almost or comparable. So So I've achieved that by doing what I laid out. So that's a top tip for your viewers.
So for like Karashigoi here, how would you select between all yellow koi at this size. Are you just looking at body shape and colour? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. To select the best ones.
It's and yeah, skin quality.
Yeah.
So even at this size, you can start to see that when they're moving around so fast like that, it's very, very difficult. But when I've got them in a selection bowl, I will, with a variety like that, and here's another little tip for you. I really shouldn't give out these little tips. But particularly with the single varieties, you put a drop of sedate in your selection bowl. Not a lot, because they're small fish, you really want to be careful.
Yeah.
And then what it means, it just calms the fish down, and then I've got time to look at the consistency of colour, to look at the shape and the skin.
Yeah.
And you can start to see the beginning of fukurin, and if I can start to see that at a few inches long,
it's a keeper. And I guess the other thing as well is with things like karashigoi, the fins can be really translucent as well, and you can't. It's harder to see demerits in the fins, maybe, or not.
You're not going to spot everything.
No.
And I think what I would say is if you a hobbyist breeder, you know, you don't have to worry about everything.
Yeah.
Just focus on the big things. There are some like little deformities that are just very difficult to spot.
Like the mouth or something like that, it's really hard to see, isn't it? Some things on the underside of the body.
Something like, there are some deformities that are very obvious.
Yeah.
An obvious pec deformity, a little Nemo fin or something like that.
Yeah.
Fine. But you're right, when the fish are small, the fins are very translucent, you're looking at against a background.
Yeah.
You know, you might, if the fish are moving around quickly, it's more difficult to see.
Yeah.
The drop of sedate, so they move a bit slower, can help you to sort of see more of those fine details.
Yeah.
But also, I also find that it's not often, but occasionally you'll get a parent set that has a higher deformity rate in their babies than elsewhere.
Yeah.
I just tend not to
breed them again.
Yeah. Because yes, you can take the trouble for every fish you keep to look at the mouth, you hold it up towards you and you look at the mouth.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
And so, in general, you know, you wouldn't expect to have huge problems with those sort of deformities.
So I've just had a really awesome, like, personal tour of Byer Koi Farm. Thank you for that. I've really enjoyed it, and some of the varieties you're producing here, I think, pretty impressive. You know, you've got the Deutsch Achiba we've discussed, the Shisui you're really excited about.
Yes.
I like them Karashis, and the Asagi as well. So some really nice fish here, and at reasonable prices as well. You've got some in there that are available to go this spring. This winter, if people are ready to take them. But I'm excited to come back and hopefully do a harvest with you at some point. It'd be nice to do.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. So if anyone's interested in getting your fish, you've got a website, haven't you? So people should go to your website and have a look at what's on there.
Yeah. There's we have hundreds of koi individually listed for sale, and anything bought over the winter can be left here at no extra charge over the winter. Amanda and I will look after them. They can be collected or shipped in the spring. And there's a range of small koi mixes, different sizes and grades. Yeah. In the spring now they'll be frying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, follow him on. You've got Facebook as well, haven't you? And you've got YouTube. You've been doing some Q&As on YouTube as well recently.
Customers have been asking us now for a few years, and we've given in, and we're doing it. We've just videoed episode 2, but they can find that on our YouTube channel. And that's where customers will email in with a series of questions, and then once a month we've committed to answering them. So there's that. Facebook and Instagram are our main 2 social media platforms, and then on the website there is the blog too, which I keep up to date.
If you've liked this video, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll be doing a full write-up on my experience today, so some insider tips on what's been going on today on the farm. So I'll give you my thoughts in the magazine, which should be released alongside this video, and is completely free to read and released every month on the 1st of the month. So I'll see you over there. Thanks, guys.